I call the member for Wright.
And I thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. In our adjournment debate, as a federal member of parliament, it is indeed an honour to stand here in this House. And it gives me the opportunity to say, and represent my electorate on so many spectrums. But there are, thank you. There is an enormous sacrifice paid by each of our families for the service that we give to this place. The strength that our families give us is testament to who we are. Our family and the strength of the family unit is what makes me who I am. I'm very proud of the family unit that I have at home. I don't think I would be a federal member if it wasn't for the strength of character that my wife provides for me. And being a federal politician, it gives me the opportunity to speak on numerous topics and thank and give accolade to those in my electorate who deservedly need the praise. And often, as politicians, we overlook that very humble and simplistic family unit that we have at home. My wife this week, and you don't realise what you've got until nearly it's gone. And my wife had she had a bit of an accident, and it just makes you think about what life would be if you didn't have them. I'm lucky enough also that my wife and I have a daughter, Grace, and she's 16, and great kid. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some days as a 16-year-old you could tie them up to a post and throw rocks at them, but anyway. But she is a good kid, and she's heavily involved in the equestrian arena, and she competes in the Olympic discipline of the 3-day event, which is show jump, dressage and the cross country. And she was fortunate enough recently to make the Queensland squad for that event and a couple of other events. And she competed against the best riders from all around Australia, from every state in our nation. Western Australia sent a delegation of 40 riders over, etc. Anyway, as a proud father, my daughter was fortunate enough to compete against the best of the best, and she actually come first in the nation for an event called the 3-Phase, which I'm eternally proud of. My wife, and subsequent to that, she also come third in the nation for her pet discipline, which is the 3-day event, the Olympic discipline that she competes in. I hope one day she gives it away sooner, because I'd love her to take up hockey, because the capital outlay for a game of hockey is about $15 for a stick, and the outlay for the equestrian sport that is her choosing discipline is far more expensive. In getting here, in my business career, my wife was a tower of strength to me. Not a tower of strength with corporate knowledge or with direction, but every time, as we grew our business from a mum and dad show through to 14 depots around the state and over 105 permanent staff and contractors, each night when I would go home and say, right, it's time to pack up, we've grown this, we need to move on and build in another town, I never got any heat or static from her, and it was, yep, she'd pack the house up and onward we would move. So I never want to take for granted the capital that my family have in this game as well. And for all of the parliamentarians that are in here, I would suggest that it would be advantageous for all of us to recognise the contributions and the sacrifice that each of our families make that make us who we are. We spend 20 weeks a year, plus our committee work down here, and ultimately our families pay the ultimate sacrifice for the time that we forego with being with them, so that we can be with our members of our electorate and represent their values. And tonight I'd just like to dedicate this speech to Australian families and the strength of the family unit, and encourage each of you to to acknowledge your families from time to time, because they do pay the ultimate price. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.